When you cross the age of 70, something inside you changes. Life slows down in ways you never expected, and your priorities shift. The things that once felt important, running around to visit relatives, attending every gathering, showing up for every occasion, start to feel less necessary. It's not about bitterness. It's not about cutting ties. It's about reaching a stage where peace, health, and comfort matter more than obligations. Many people don't understand why seniors stop visiting as often. So today I want to share 6 honest reasons why I, and many others like me, decided to step back from constantly visiting others after turning 70. Number 1. My body doesn't move the way it used to. When I was younger, I could walk for miles, carry heavy bags, sit on uncomfortable chairs, and still be fine the next day. But now, even a short trip outside can feel like a marathon. My knees ache, my back gets stiff, and I don't recover as quickly. Visiting someone isn't just about showing up. It means walking, climbing stairs, sitting for hours, and sometimes even struggling with transportation. What used to be effortless has turned into a challenge. The truth is, after 70, every step requires energy, and energy becomes precious. Instead of tiring myself out just to keep up appearances, I'd rather save that strength for things that truly bring me joy, like tending to my garden, enjoying a quiet cup of tea, or taking a slow walk in the park near my home. Number 2. Health problems make me think twice. At this age, health is a constant companion and not always a friendly one. High blood pressure, sugar levels, heart issues, medications. These things don't pause just because there's a family gathering or a social visit. When I'm away from home, I worry. Will I get my medicines on time? Will the food served affect my health? What if I suddenly feel unwell in the middle of someone else's house? That thought alone makes me hesitant to go out. Even catching a small cold can feel like a big problem when you're older. So I choose the safer path. Staying home where I know my body and its needs will be cared for gives me peace of mind. It's not that I don't love people. I just have to love my health a little more now. Number 3. I don't have the emotional energy anymore. People don't often realize this, but socializing takes emotional energy too. Smiling, chatting, remembering details, responding politely. It all requires effort. When I was younger, I enjoyed it. I wanted to meet new people, keep up with conversations, and be part of every occasion. But now I value peace more than chatter. I'd rather have one deep, meaningful conversation than sit through hours of noise and small talk. Big gatherings often leave me drained, not refreshed. At this stage in life, I no longer feel obligated to keep everyone happy. I choose where I want to spend my emotional energy, and most of the time, that means staying home and protecting my inner calm. Number 4. Relationships have changed over the years. When you're young, relationships feel exciting. You want to visit everyone, be part of everything, but over time, people change. Children get busy with their own lives, friends move away or pass on, and sometimes visits don't feel the same anymore. I've noticed that visits often become one-sided. I travel to see people, but they rarely come to see me. Or when I do go, I sometimes feel invisible conversations pass over me, and I sit quietly in the corner while others talk about things I can't relate to. That hurts, and after a while, you start to ask yourself, why am I putting in all this effort when it doesn't feel valued? So instead of forcing myself into spaces where I don't feel included, I choose to stay home with dignity. I focus on people who genuinely care, whether they are few or many. Number 5. I've learned to value simplicity. One of the biggest lessons age has taught me is that simplicity is a blessing. After 70, I don't need grand experiences or endless social events. I want my own chair, my own food, my own routine. Visiting others often disrupts that. Sleeping in someone else's bed, adjusting to their meal times, or even sitting for hours in a noisy house, it all feels overwhelming. At home, I have my peace, my rhythm, my comfort. After spending a lifetime running around for work, children, and responsibilities, I no longer crave the chaos. Simplicity makes me happier than any big social visit ever could. Number 6. My priorities have shifted toward inner peace. Perhaps the biggest change after 70 is how you look at life. You realize time is no longer endless. You stop living for others' approval and start asking yourself, what really makes me happy? For me, happiness is no longer in traveling from house to house. It's in sitting quietly with a book, praying, reflecting, or simply watching the sunset from my window. I don't feel guilty about it anymore. I've learned that solitude isn't loneliness, it's peace, and I don't need to prove my love for people by constantly visiting them. If they care, they'll reach out, or they'll visit me. At this stage, my priority is not social obligation, it's inner fulfillment. Closing thoughts. When people hear that I don't visit much anymore, they sometimes assume I've become distant or cold, but the truth is very different. I still love my family. I still care for my friends, but I've simply chosen peace over pressure, comfort over chaos, and health over obligation. The 6 reasons I shared: my body's limitations, health concerns, lack of emotional energy, changed relationships, a desire for simplicity, and shifting priorities are not excuses. They're the honest realities of aging. So if you know someone over 70 who no longer visits as often, don't take it personally. Instead, try to understand. Sometimes, the best way to love them is not by expecting them to come to you, but by going to them, calling them, or simply respecting their choice for peace. Because growing older is not about withdrawing from life, it's about living it on your own terms. When I look back at my life before 70, I realize how much of it was spent running around for others, visiting relatives, attending gatherings, showing up at every occasion. Whether I was tired or not, I did it out of love, out of duty, and sometimes just because it was expected of me. But turning 70 has taught me one of the most important lessons of all. Life is too short to keep living for everyone else's approval. These 6 reasons I've shared aren't excuses, they are truths that many seniors quietly live with but rarely say out loud. Our bodies slow down, our health becomes fragile, and our energy, both physical and emotional, must be used wisely. Relationships also change, and we start seeing who truly values us and who only values our presence when it's convenient. More than anything, we begin to crave peace, simplicity, and inner fulfillment over constant social obligations. It's not that I've stopped caring about people. In fact, I probably care now more than ever, because I understand how fragile life is. But caring doesn't always mean showing up at someone's doorstep. Sometimes it means picking up the phone, saying a prayer for someone, or simply keeping them in your heart. If you have an elder in your life who no longer visits as much as they used to, don't take it as rejection. Instead, recognize it as their way of protecting their health, their energy, and their peace of mind. Visit them instead, call them, or simply let them know you understand. That kind of love and respect goes much further than forcing them into situations they no longer find comfortable. At this stage of life, I've realized that real happiness doesn't come from being everywhere. It comes from being at peace with yourself. And so I no longer feel guilty about stepping back from constant visits. I see it as a gift I've given myself. The gift of choosing calm over chaos, comfort over discomfort, and authenticity over obligation. Because in the end, aging gracefully isn't about how many places you visit or how many people you impress. It's about knowing what truly matters, letting go of what doesn't, and spending the years you have left in the way that brings you the most joy. And for me, that means staying close to home, close to peace, and close to the people who truly value me. At 70 and beyond, stepping back from visiting others isn't about selfishness, it's about protecting health, energy, and peace. After a lifetime of running around for everyone else, I've learned that love doesn't only mean showing up physically, it also lives in prayers, phone calls, and quiet care. Choosing calm over obligation is not withdrawal, it's wisdom. Aging gracefully means valuing what truly matters and finding peace in living life on your own terms.